مدير سابق للاي تي في مجلس الامه ومتخصص بالامن السبراني وبالديجيتال ترانسفورميشن. اليوم انا طبعا يسعدني ان اكون موجود هنا اتطرق حق موضوع اللي هو الخاص بالامن السبراني وحمايه هذه المباني وحمايه الفاسيلتيز. طبعا I'm going to talk about the operational technology, the OT, the cyber security. This is the most important part in protecting the buildings, the facility in general. So what we are going to talk about today is, first of all, I'll talk about what's the OT, or what do we mean by operational technology. And the second thing, the goal of the OT and why it's important وليش لازم يكون مهم عندنا في المباني والفاسيلتيز الريفاينريز وهذه المواضيع كلها. طبعا يمكن احنا المختصين شوي بالسايبر سيكيورتي يصير عندنا ميكس، او حتى in general we have a mix between what's the difference between cyber security in IT and cyber security in OT. So are they the same, or the same technology are being used in these two different criteria or area? The second thing, or maybe we will talk about the future of the OT and security in Kuwait, and definitely we have to talk about the example and practice and how we can use the facilities on the OT in general in Kuwait. Especially we are the government also they are toward the digital transformation, and even the era of the digital transformation in general in Kuwait that we are in the process, and I guess even in the future, definitely the AI and adopting the AI in all the facilities and all aspects of the application. Talking about the OT, we have to talk also about the vendors who provide this kind of services in Kuwait. If we are planning to have the cyber security for the facilities, so whom should we contact and who are the leaders here in Kuwait? There are last two topics about the risk assessment and the governance and what kind of protocol we are using in OT. So basically, what's the operational technology? What's the OT? The OT is focusing in protecting the industrial, focusing in protecting the facilities, the management, the big buildings, refineries, oil. We have the MOW, like the Minister of Electricity. They have some electricity plants, they have to protect it. So any factories, any plant, any energy areas, transportation, communication, we have to protect it by using the OT, the operational technology. The goals is as the IT, the cyber security of IT, we have different goals. We have to have the safety in these industrials, these facilities, our manufacturer, we have to have a high secure environment, so no incident, no any harm or multifunction. Availability is very important, as we have the data centers, we have our networks, we have the application should be available all the time 24/7. Also the OT and the cyber security and the OT security, we should have it, keep the system running continuously with a minimum downtime. We cannot live without electricity, we cannot live without internet, we cannot live without the communication or any kind of services. Reliability, it consists of performance and the output of industrial operation. It's very important that we have reliable systems, we have reliable OT system security to run these manufacture or these plants. Efficiency, optimize resources using of energy. The speaker, my presentation, he talked about green buildings, and some businesses are hiring, if they want to rent a building, he mentioned that the building should be green and certified. So the efficiency in using the materials, using the electricity, energy in a protection or facility system is very important now, since we are having a vision of Kuwait 2035, which is also emphasizing about the green buildings. And we saw so many projects in Kuwait, they are certified with the green buildings. Integrity of operation, as we have integrity in our data systems and our information also here in the energy, or in the building or facilities, we ensure the control commands and sensors readings, especially our colleagues in the oil refinery like KOC or Quebec or Zur refinery. They have to be sure that the sensors and the readings for all these equipments are accurate, and no tempered or heat or threats actors are sneaking into network. So imagine that there's an actor or a threat actor, he's just reached our electricity facility here in Kuwait, or even building, or the healthcare systems like Mubarak Hospital or any hospital. If these actors are sneaking to the, for example, for the imaging system, so imagine what the disaster it will be, or even like the citizen of Kuwait will be suffered. The OT key components. Since in networking we have some devices or equipment are related to the IT and security, also in the OT there are some components that's very important since it's industrial. So we should have a firewall system in our refineries, in our manufacturers, or even like a huge building or a high-rise building, we should have certain of firewalls that it can protect the network. It's almost the same thing between the network in industrial and data centers are almost the same, but definitely the OT or the industrial, they have their own equipments, they have their own firewall system, industrial version. Continuous and monitoring the control systems. It's very critical that all the facilities should be monitored, should be tracked, should be updated all the time and continuous. So because the downtime is not acceptable, the downtime is very important. Identify and access management. This is the most important thing. Now many facilities, many organizations are following a kind of standards, the new standards that zero trust policies. Now they are implemented in data centers. The same thing, they are implemented in the OT, and they are following this kind of access management, controlling to give the permission, who can access the server, who can access the refinery networks, the switches there, over there, the firewall system for the facilities. It's very important that we have kind of regulation, policies, and privilege for every user and admins. As in networking and in IT technology, they have some frameworks that we are following, like NEST or the Kuwaiti frameworks now, since the Kuwait government are toward digital transformation and we are in 2035 vision. So now Citra, Kate, they are starting building up frameworks for AI, frameworks for digital transformation. Now also there in OT, there are some standards that all the manufacturer and facilities and organization here in Kuwait, they should track it. So for example, the NIST 882 ISO 27019, these are standard industrials controls that framework should be followed even here in Kuwait. We can do a small comparison or like a table, it compare between the cybersecurity, OT cybersecurity, and the IT. We can see that the purpose of the IT, that usually they are protecting their infrastructure, they are protecting the data, the privacy, while in the OT system is controlling physical processes, the sensors, controllers. While the priority there in the IT, if you are coming from IT department, definitely the confidentiality is very important, while an OT system, it should be the service available over time, and the safety. Environment, in networking we are using a dynamic, we are using virtual and updatable, but in the OT it's a long life cycle legacy system. The last row may be talking about the typical risk. In IT, mainly we are trying to challenge the hackers, we're challenging data breaches, while in an OT system, it's the equipment, the shutdown, the safety, risk. All these are the factors that is, make the OT is kind of different than the IT. OT cybersecurity and facility management. The OT is integrated with the building management system, the BMS, protecting elevators, for example, the HVAC system, access the control, lighting, CCTV, real-time monitoring, monitoring of IoT systems, Internet of Things devices that is currently heavily used in different areas, different factors, and different plants, sensor and automation. Now, the AI, all of us are using the AI, so definitely in OT they are implementing the AI to be like proactive, protective, protection for and maintenance and security data exchange, cybersecurity in smart campuses and hospital. We can see that currently in many facilities here in Kuwait. Ministry of Justice, all the new buildings they have it is very smart building. National Assembly of Kuwait also, it has the smart buildings and it's used the AI. The future security, the OT, it's the future in Kuwait, is very promising. OT is starting to be like a cornerstone in all processes in Kuwait. National cyber security frameworks, they start building their frameworks for the government, for the manufacturers, etc. They are doing a good job. NCC, it's the current organization here in Kuwait that is creating the policies and standards, and in the future we're gonna have like frameworks customized for either for industrial or even for the government. Needing the expertise. Since Corona, Kuwait, they lost so many expertise, and definitely in the future we need local expertise either from Kuwaitis or non-Kuwaitis in cybersecurity, in IT, specialized in these kind of industrial OT security, building a resilient operating aligned with Kuwait vision. The Kuwait pillar or Kuwait Vision 2035 is very promising a future for Kuwait. So we need so many plans, so many vendors that they should have their future plans or even their vision to be aligned with Kuwait 2035. Example of using the OT in Kuwait, definitely one of the best maybe sectors in Kuwait, the oil and gas. Over here in Kuwait, they are using very smart buildings, they are using the OT, the industrial OT, they are using heavily there, especially in the refinery, oil refinery. Power plants belong to Ministry of Electricity. They are ensuring that the stability over their devices, stability over their systems. The smart buildings, this is a vision of Kuwait government that they should use green building, they should use a clean energy. So it's a challenge between the government sector in how they implement, and it's a part of the requirements code in Kuwait that the new building should be a green building, power efficiency in using all these resourcing. The last example where we can use the OT system, also in transportation, transportation system regulation, the signal, maybe like the traffic signal, Ministry of Interior, they are using the OT to protecting their traffic signals, the cameras, all these facilities. Who's the vendor that we can contact in Kuwait? What kind of a product that is available in the Kuwait market? Definitely the FortiGate and Fortinet OT industrial version. Every maybe who is in IT, he knows or he heard about FortiGate. Palo Alto, they have their version of industrial firewall system that is available in Kuwait market. And there's another company like Kaspersky and different companies. Definitely if you just search or ask even ChatGPT, you need a local vendor here in Kuwait, you can get a big list. What else we have? The OT or even these buildings, their technology, what kind of, what areas they are protecting if we install a firewall or we are segmenting our networks through the OT system. We're gonna protect the BMS, we're gonna protect the HMI, RTU, which is a remote terminal unit, programmable, the BLCs, DCS, and the famous product is SCADA and their vendors. So most of our plants over here in Kuwait is running by SCADA, so we need to protect it by one of the best vendors that available in Kuwait, like Honeywell or Palo Alto if you are using network. I'm gonna finish, so no worry, as you know, you are tired, so it will be, this is the last slide. It's the same company, Siemens is here in Kuwait, Honeywell, Palo Alto, Fortinet, Dragos. So the risk assessment and governance, we should identify, and we have fully assessed of the OT devices that we have, and classify the system. What we have, zero trust, as we mentioned, for controlling who accessing our devices, who accessing our networks. And at the end, we have to follow some framework that we have to follow it, like the 882. So thank you for listening, and I appreciate your attendance. I know that you are tired, but thank you. لا يعطيك العافية، أهلا وسهلا. شكرا.